The book I wish to recommend is John Stuart Mill's classic On Liberty. It was published in 1859, and what strikes you when you pick up that rather slim volume is how eminently readable it is. Contemporary political philosophy is often very technical. It takes a lot of knowledge of other sorts of political philosophy to get through most of what's written today. Whereas this short book by Mill, without any former knowledge of political philosophy, you can open it and read it. I'm not saying that it is an easy read. On the contrary, it can be quite challenging, but the challenge does not consist in a wall of heavy terminology that prevents people from grasping the basic ideas. And that's a good thing, because these ideas are of relevance to everyone. As the title suggests, the book is about liberty, or freedom. More specifically, freedom in society, freedom for the individual. And Mill's starting point is simply to ask where should we draw the line between what lies in the control of every single individual and what should be in control of society. As Mill sees it, it's by no means clear what you are meant to be in this life. You will have to carry out what he calls experiments in living. You try out different things. You try different sorts of education, different jobs, different girlfriends or boyfriends, try to be a bachelor, try to be married, and so on and so on and so on. And he says that eventually you will probably stumble upon something that works for you. What should the limits be to these experiments in living? Well, this is where Mill introduces his famous harm principle, namely that individuals should be allowed to do absolutely everything as long as it does not cause damage to others, as long as you do not cause harm to others. So that's a fairly strong principle. It says that thinking that, well, it would be better for you to not gamble, not drink, and so on, is not a sufficient reason for me to prevent you from doing those things. As Mill sees it, you can probably learn something from doing all these sorts of mistakes. And he says that there is a sort of circle around every single individual, and within that circle, the individual has the full say about how to live. Others can enter that circle only if the individual says that it's okay. So this clearly puts a lot of limits to what a government rightfully can do to you. It cannot prevent you from doing things that is only of harm to yourself, like eating unhealthy, smoking or whatever. You should be allowed to do those things as long as you only hurt yourself. You should be allowed to be in a relationship, say a sexual relationship, with another consenting adult, and it's nobody else's business what you're doing as long as you are two consenting adults. Now, Mill is also extremely preoccupied with freedom of speech, and he says that there should be no limits on the freedom of speech except those that will be defined by the harm principle. And the harm principle will only come into play if you violate somebody else's rights by saying something. And he will clearly say that, for instance, hurting somebody else's feelings, say their religious feelings, is clearly not the relevant sort of harm. So you should pretty much be allowed to express whatever you like. Only then will we manage to reach informed beliefs. Only then will we be able to reach truth. And he says that it's just as immoral to forbid an opinion that only one person holds and the rest of humanity disagrees with than it would be to forbid the rest of humanity to express a belief that the whole of humanity holds except for one person. So this is one of the true classics on freedom in political philosophy, and it's readable for pretty much everyone. So I hope you enjoy it.